Hi guys, welcome to episode 50 of my Warhammer Conquest review series. As always, we're going to be reviewing the same number. So we're going to be reviewing issue 50. Pretty good issue, this one. We've got some Chaos Cultists. Let's get right in there. Obviously, the most important bit, bases. We love the bases. This is a weird plastic bag. But you got yourself 10 slaughter bases there to go with 10 Chaos Cultists. Buying them independently costs you about £6 for 5. So you've got £12 worth of stuff here. So that's a £4 saving, or 30%, if you want to look at it. The Chaos Cultists first came out in the Dark Imperium box set. They're basically cheap as chips grunts for your army. They're great for bullet shields. They're great to act as screens for your army, or if you've just got a few points you need to spend in order to just bring your army up to things. They add a little extra firepower. And frankly, they're nifty models, and you can use quite a lot of them. Let's have a look. Yep, both these sprues are the same, so you will have some duplication. As you can see, you've got the guy with the mace there, or improvised club weapon, whatever you want to call it, and the same guy there. You've got the guy with the ball on the end of some wires, it looks like. And again, yeah, he's on, where are we? Yeah, he's on that one there as well. Still, not bad. You've got some cool cultists there. I know you get some heavy weapon cultists, but it doesn't look like you've got those here. You've just got yourself some auto guns, some auto pistols, and some handheld weapons. So that's pretty cool, but frankly, sorry, a nifty addition to any army. Those will be up for winning at the end of the video, so keep watching until the end. And as always, yeah, it's just some great detailing. Can't knock GW for the quality of their miniatures. They're the top dogs for a reason. Okay, here we go. We've got the magazine. If we start the magazine, you see in the front of the magazine we've got a picture of those Chaos Cultists painted. These have been done with green colours. As you can see, they're fairly scruffy, so they'll fit perfectly into any Death Guard army. However, they'll also fit into, well, pretty much any army. They did. I tell you what, they did not come out with Dark Imperium. They came out with something else. My brain has completely betrayed me on that. It was the Pox zombies that came out with Dark Imperium. I believe they came out with the previous box set. They came out with 7th edition rather than 8th. Wasn't Dark Imperium. Dark Vengeance, that was it. Came out with the Dark Vengeance box set. So they've been around for 2 editions so far, so they're pretty good. But they are generic Chaos. You can, as you see, paint them up so they fit in with the Khorne army, but they're just as easy to paint up to fit with, sorry, Khorne army? A Nurgle army, but they're just as easy to paint up with a Khorne army. It's not too difficult to paint them up as part of a Slaanesh or Tzeentch army, although I think the scruffiness does kind of lend itself to Khorne and Nurgle a bit more. But they are chaos unaligned, so you can fit them in with any army you want. Just vary the paint scheme a little bit. Right, let's get into the first page. As always, Ian, our spiritual leaf, signing the inside. Here we've got a straight introduction going straight into Death Guard Chaos Cultists, because, as I said, Chaos Cultists come in 5 lovely flavours. Ignorant of the forces at play in the galaxy and desperate to escape their lives of misery, many come to despise the Imperium. These unfortunates are prime targets for the whispers and promises of the Dark Chaos Gods. Yeah, the Imperium sucks. Living in it sucks. Some planets are nice, some planets are nasty. A lot of the time, because of the harsh nature of the universe, or the harsh nature of the 40k universe, the Imperium puts way too much pressure on its planets to meet quotas, to grow so much food. They become heavily super industrialized, meaning the air sucks, the food sucks, there's not enough of it to go around because the Imperium's constantly fighting, and in any long-term war footing, you end up having to make the choice of who do you starve and who do you feed. And for the Imperium, the choice is always they feed their armies, they starve their people. Not because they want to, because if they didn't, then they'd have no people and everyone would be dead. And that's one of the things to remember about the Imperium. It is, sorry, just pulling myself up. It's a nasty place, but it's not nasty out of cruelty, although some of the people who run the Imperium are cruel. It's nasty out of necessity. You know, it's the kind of place where you'll be forced to sacrifice one member of your family to feed the rest. Possibly in a Sword and Green way, I don't know. Sci-fi reference there. If you don't know what Sword and Green is, check it out. It's funny. Kind of. But yeah, it's got a nice bit there that goes on to explain what the cultists are, what they do. Yeah, the new gods. It doesn't go to anything specific about Nurgle there. Let's have a look. Here you go. Cults of Nurgle. There you go. There's some more specific stuff. Cults of Nurgle arise on worlds plagued by disease and despair. That's a lot of worlds. The Imperium's technology is not evenly shared. You'll have agricultural worlds where they don't necessarily have medical technology because they don't need it. And you'll have hive worlds where everything's so close that when one person coughs, the other person sneezes. Diseases tend to be widely spread and run rampant. And on top of that, in a lot of worlds, there's malnutrition. In the lower echelons of the Imperium, there's a lot of people who get very, very sick. If you imagine any large city where there's a highly dense population and not necessarily the money to run things properly, people get sick, people get poorly. You just have to look at some of the cities in third world countries. They've got some fantastic cities there, and yet they're surrounded by slums and shanty towns. And in those places, once a disease gets a hold, it can be very difficult to contain it. And that you can often have, you can have wonderful cities with sewage works and that just spilling out, going out of the city. And then when it gets out of the city, because people tap into it for water, people tap into the sewers to try and get their own sewage out there, it can end up spilling. You can, just check out the world. There's lots of stuff out there, and multiply that by 1,000. When you look at this, you look at spires that are so tall. You look at hives that are so tall that their spires nearly touch space. Nearly pierce the atmosphere, and you can imagine how many people are living in such a small and confined space, and how difficult it will be just logistically to keep that kind of place clean and disease free. And you can see why it's going to be hard to survive there, and why it's going to be full of disease. Both situations, when turning to Papa Nurgle, is going to seem quite inviting. If you're full of disease anyway, pray to the god of disease that it doesn't kill you. If your life is a never-ending, harsh, depressing grind, that's exactly the kind of emotions that feed Nurgle, and exactly the kind of emotions that attract Nurgle. So these places are ideal for Nurgle cultists. There we go. Where are you? Worshippers seeking to escape from the pain and misery of sickness and take a twisted pride in the disease and deformities gifted them by Nurgle. Led by bubo-ridden zealots and prophets of plague, these cults often taint water supplies, flood food stores, release weaponized viruses, and stop our weapons and ammunition for eventual uprising. So you can see, if you're in a horrible world, being a cultist of Nurgle is appealing. Having a cult of Nurgle is going to make it even worse. It goes on there, so you tell you about threats in the Imperium, hidden icons of devotion, which are the symbols of their chaos powers. Showing you underlined Khorne and Tzeentch there, and it goes on to give you the basics. Equipped for war. Most chaos cultists have no great gift for strategy and are poorly equipped. Yep, they are the cheapest. They are amongst the cheapest troops in 40k. They're certainly amongst the cheapest. They're certainly amongst the cheapest troops that your Chaos Space Marine is going to use. The standard tactic is the cultists will uprise at the same time. The Chaos Space Marines will come down and assault from the sky. They'll meet together and crush the Imperium in the middle, and the Chaos Space Marines will make the cultists take the brunt of the suffering, and often then kill them afterwards because they're worthless. We've got a nice little timeline thing here called Chaos Rising. Here you've got an Ultramarine fighting a Keeper of Secrets and a Bloodletter. So, Slaanesh and Khorne representing there. Over the eons, the galaxy has witnessed war-based catastrophes, demonic invasions beyond counting, Since the creation of the Imperial Inquisition, even the fact that such a thing is possible is deemed far too dangerous for the citizens of the Imperium to know. For knowledge breeds heresy. So it's giving you a basic bit there. It's like most people worship chaos, even if they knew. When you look at it from the perspective of us knowing the lore in the game system, you're going to realise, well, hang about. Chaos is mostly just treating the galaxy as a giant smorgasbord. It gets the cultists so it can eat the cultists' souls and so it can continue to grow bigger. Why would you do that? There's two answers, and one is because 1 in every 1,000 and 1 in every 10,000 will get to be massively powerful before they die, and 1 in every million, and given the size of the galaxy, that's still a lot of people. Even if it's 1 in a million, you've probably still got another, you've probably got 1 million demon princes, even if only 1 in every million chaos worshippers achieve demonhood. But this 1 in every million will get to live forever as a chaos demon, as a demon prince, and they'll be risen up. And heck, 1 in every million is probably too much a number, too big a number. It's probably less. It's probably less than that, so 1 every billion. But still, there is the faint chance that you'll get immortality, and that's what they all shoot for. And the second reason is that most of them don't know the dark side, so chaos just sells itself as the good side. If you've read any of the heresy novels, you can see that chaos is quite adept at painting itself as the good guys, the guys who are going to make you free, the guys who are going to release you. And when you're working in a forge world that says, keep your head down, shut up while we work you to death, it's fairly easy to want something else. When you've got no hope, you'll grab hold of any hope. We've got a timeline here, which, the creation of warp drive and standard template technology, along with the first navigators and the heralds, start a golden age of discovery. And that's called the lull. You've got the awakening there, which tells you about the birth of Slaanesh and how his birthing throes basically shut off the entire galaxy and stranded humanity on its separate worlds for thousands of years. Goes into the dawn of the Imperium, which is where mankind first struck out again. Well, mankind then struck out again, after the storm had abated, and by that time the Emperor had taken over. So the Emperor was kind of guiding the reconquest of the galaxy. Okay, now we're on to the how to build cultists, again with clipper safety. No one should lose an arm to clippers, and they're fairly simple, they're fairly easy. They are one of the first easy to build kits, kind of by that name. They've always been simple clip together kits all the way back to 3rd ed. Prior to that, their version of the easy to build kit was just single cast models. But these are some of this is one of the first sort of things, which is these are one of the first easy to build kits as we kind of see them, where they've taken advantage of the single pose nature together. It only goes together one way, and we're going to use that to give you more dynamic poses and more things like that. There were some easy to build-ish stuff in Blackreach, but they were just more single pose. With these ones were designed to be simple to build. Everything clips on. Everything only goes together in one or two, and if it only goes together in one, maybe 2 ways. Which is why you kind of need the instructions. The multi-part kits and the modular kits you can glue together in 100 ways, so there's very few wrong ways to do it. The easy bit to build kits only go together one way, so you need to follow the instructions there and make sure that you're gluing the right thing on the right part. It is possible to glue the wrong thing on the wrong part and have it mostly fit, but then when you get down the line, you realise, oh, that arm goes on that guy, and whilst person B's arm fits on person A, person A's arm doesn't fit on person B. So with the easy to build kits, always read these. They're really quite good. When I say it's one of the first easy to build kits, I mean it's one of the first easy to build kits as we recognise them. There are a lot of kits that were easy to build. The 3rd edition Space Marines, which we may remember as the ones that were all posed like that, you literally just slotted the gun in the front, and that was the entire thing. They took their influence off the Space Crusade Marines, which were meant to be modular. The idea was you could slot one gun in the front, and then as you went around, you'd have a bolter, and you'd then find a plasma gun, take the bolter off, and then slot the plasma gun in the front, which is a really cool way of doing it for a board game, but really didn't give you very nice looking figures. They were much more game pieces than they were figures. And if you look at some of the 3rd ed models, again, yeah, they were very posed in very static ways and didn't look anywhere near as cool as a lot of the models that had gone before them. Yeah, the White Beakies, whilst they had some odd poses, because you could pose them however you want, were quite dynamic for their time. Which I think is why they abandoned that sort of modular thing for a while, and it's come back with the easy to build kits. But again, with the easy to build kits, you can see you've got a guy running there, another guy running there. You've got quite dynamic poses. So yes, you're sacrificing modularity, but you're getting the models look cooler, but you don't get to decide how they look. So you're sacrificing modularity and customizability for a model that is easier to build and just generically looks cooler. So if you don't, if you're happy for them to be game pieces, or you're not that good at conversions, or you've just got no interest in spending a lot of time trying to make your models look cool, and putting a lot of your own work into it, bash them together and get them to play, these to build kits are very much for you. I prefer a little choice, but that's because I've been doing it a long time, and frankly, I just use it as an artistic outlet. But yeah, we've got the easy to build there, and then we're going on to the painting. First thing to do is you paint the green model. Green. These painting guides are getting longer and are taking up more and more of the magazine. But I think that's only to be expected. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 odd pages of painting guide there. Just run you through them, going through the shading and the highlighting and all that. But it's only to be expected that they've gone from taking up a couple of pages to taking up. It's not a thick magazine. You can see a significant chunk of it is taken up with the painting guide. They've gone from a couple of pages to a lot more, as you're getting a lot more painting. But do keep hold of them. They are actually quite useful, and they're good painting guides. Next, we've got the next mission. You've got the background blob there. Rise of the cultists. Not all of Corv and Two Sisters fled in fear or fought against the invading Death Guard. Some have taken the opportunity to rebel against their Imperial masters and throw their lot in with the heretics in the slums of Sanctus. These cultists have established a particularly strong following. So yeah, cool. This here is Ludmilla Tarch, picture prior to the invasion. Looks like Tim Curry. For those of you who haven't seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show, check it out. It's hilarious. For those of you who haven't seen the sequel, it's all right. This is Governor Ludmilla Tarch. I'm sheltering in Sanctus with my remaining bodyguards. We are surrounded and cannot hold our position much longer. Please send assistance. Heretic forces have overrun the city, and the walking dead clog the streets. Please send assistance. To any who do respond, beware. Sanctus seized with traitors and heretics. Trust no one. May the Emperor protect us. So you've got some nice background there. I always love the background. It may seem silly, but it always helps me imagine what I'm doing, which, being as I'm playing with toy soldiers and going pew pew, to me it's great. And if you don't like going pew pew and being silly, you've probably picked the wrong hobby. More story stuff based there. So you've got a lot of cool bits and pieces telling you about the stuff that's going on. And here you've got Betrayal in Sanctus, and you've literally got to rescue the Tetrarch. There's the Ultramarine objective, which is the Governor's, and that green section there is the Death Guard deployment zone. It hasn't got a picture of Space Marine yet. Let's have a look. There's no picture of deployment there. The Space Marine player deploys their scouts using the concealed position rule. The Space Marine player takes first turn. So you've got 10 Chaos Cultists and 12 Poxwalkers. So nothing but low grade stuff here, but you've got 22 of them. and then 5 Space Marine Scouts. So this one's a Scouts versus Cultists. So both guys playing on low points, but you've got a lot of cool stuff to do with the Scouts, and it'll depend how you equip them as to how you want to roll. Sorry, got something in my eye. Always got something in my eye. Probably having too many cats. You've got the stats of the Chaos Cultists. Now, the stats of the Chaos Cultists are quite weak, but that's because 10 Cultists cost you 3 power points. I don't know their... Sorry, cost you 3 power. I don't know their points cost, but that'll be something for you guys to check out if you ever buy a full codex. Let's have it. You've got the Chaos Cultist with movement 6, fairly standard. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 4+, again. Fairly standard, not as good as Space Marines, but you've gone from a 50% chance to a 33% chance of hitting. Strength 3, toughness 3, low, but again, not too low, so they would be fairly easy to kill. 1 wound and 1 attack with a leadership 5. The champion, same stats, but with 2 attacks and leadership 6. They both got a 6+ save, which if you rolled saves with 22 guys does mean you're going to have a few guys survive. So it's not bad when you've got that many guys. It does keep some of them alive, but it's certainly not a save to be relied upon. You're better off ducking behind cover and using that. This unit contains 1 Cultist Champion and 9 Chaos Cultists. Each model is armed with an autogun. So that's cool. Let's check out the autogun stats. Strange enough, autoguns, you didn't see a lot of them in previous editions. Once we got our 2nd ed, in 7th ed and 8th ed, they've really made a comeback. An autogun is basically an old-fashioned machine gun. Stubbers and autoguns are very similar, yeah, to contemporary weapons we have today. Bolters have explosive shells, and these are the ones that aren't really that sci-fi. They're fairly similar to what we've got. But your autogun has 24-inch range and rapid fire 1, strength 3, 0 AP, and do 1 damage. So you're going to struggle to kill a standard Marine with that. Weight of numbers is your friend. The auto pistol, 12 inches, pistol 1, same stats. Brutal assault weapon, which is the spike things you get. Strength user, which in this case is strength 3. Again, 0 armor penetration and 1 wound. So that means with a 10-man cultist, if you get to hit first of them, you're doing 11 wounds at strength 3, 0 armor penetration. So again, you're relying on strength of numbers really to do your damage with cultists, but they're that cheap that you can get a lot of them. If you compare it to some of the previous points, some of the points on other systems, other stats. I'm just going to actually pause it for a second. I'm just going to get some of the other stats to compare it for you, so you can see the difference. I'm back. If I just flick through, all organised in folders. Let's go to the previous edition. Had nothing in it, so that's no good. That was a paint edition, wasn't it? If you go to a bike squad, you got 3 bikers for 5 points. So that's 3 guys for 5 points. If we go back to the previous edition, the land speeder costs 6 points. So you get 20 cultists for a land speeder. Fetid bloat drone costs 8 points. So nearly 30 cultists for the price of a fetid bloat drone. Let's have a look. And the scout squad again costs 6 points. So for 5 scouts, you get 20 cultists, which all of a sudden, just having autoguns doesn't, just having autoguns and a 6-up save doesn't seem so bad when you realise you're getting 20 of them. So that's really where your cultists and even your plague, your poxwalkers really come into their own. It's not what they can do; it's that they can do so much of it. So that's pretty cool. if you just got one of these and you're collecting Death Guard, it's not a bad idea to go out and buy another issue. You know, you're getting 30% off, and cultists do really work with well with high numbers. So having 30 cultists, it's going to save you money. If you check a lot of the stats, people, when they're talking about cultists, they usually talk about taking a lot of them. You take 30 cultists, that's 9 points, which in a point battle is a very small amount. Well, it's not very small, but it's quite a small amount. And you can then use them as a screen for your better troops. March them forward, they'll pile out a lot of shots, then die, you know, softening your enemy up quite nicely. But then your elite Death Guard troops or your elite Coronate troops or whatever Chaos Army you're using roll in and hammer the guys having taken very little damage. So yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, that's certainly you know, if you want cultists and you want more of a cultist-based army, which is certainly a thematic thing. I'm not sure how tactically viable it is, but thematically having a cultist-based army is good. Then this might be one of the issues you want to consider getting a couple of copies of. Okay, on to next week. Next week we've got the Hemotrope. It's just another fantastic piece of scenery. Again, it will probably have its own special rules, as they all do, but they're quite big. I'm pretty sure they're about yay big. So they actually make fairly good line of sight blockers. A lot of the scenery we've got so far has been quite shallow, but the plasma reactors and the Hemotrope will actually be things that you can hide guys behind, rather than just sort of coming up to their shoulders and then being able to shoot and get cover. You know, you'll be able to completely hide troops and keep valuable troops safe using this bigger cover. After that, we have got a pot of Astro Granite. Now, Astro Granite's just under £5, so issue 52 might not be the best value. I'm wondering if anything else is coming with that. They didn't tell us we were getting paintbrushes. The last time we got paintbrushes, they just showed us the paints. Maybe we'll get a paintbrush. Maybe we'll get a paintbrush restock with this. I don't know. In all fairness, I haven't used the Astro Granite I got last time because I don't tend to use Astro Granite. It's a perfectly good. Texturing medium. I just prefer other things. That's the point. Maybe I'll stick it on eBay. I might get some money back. Right. As always, I don't collect Death Guard. I don't collect Chaos. Actually, that's not entirely true. I absolutely collect Chaos, but I collect Zench. Even for the new Warcry, I'm playing the Cypher Lords, which were originally advertised as a completely Zench bunch of guys. Now they're going, oh yeah, nobody knows what they are. They're covered in eyeball symbology, and they use trickery and complex magic. They're totally Zench. But in 40k, I haven't got an army, and I'm not going to be using these guys. So if you want these guys, comment on the video below, and I'll randomly pick one of the commenters next week, and you'll get sent 10 cultists, which, if you've already got an issue of this, is still a great thing. You literally can't have too many cultists. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you in a week's time. Bye-bye. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Not sure why, but I am. So if you like it, see me there, and please tell your friends. Thanks very much. Bye.